Hello, welcome. You must have heard the statement that the Lagna Lord is the most beneficial planet of the chart, whether it is naturally malefic, like Saturn or Mars, when they become the Lagna Lord. They focus on the growth and upliftment of the chart. So, whichever house he sits in, or whichever house he sees, he will not create any problem there. Mars or Saturn as Lagna Lord benefit the chart, but seeking the best might harm us. So, in this sense, if Mars or Saturn also become a ruglord, then they will do good for the whole kundi. But it also happens that in our pursuit of wanting the best, sometimes we end up harming ourselves. So, how true is this statement? Today, we will talk about this. If we talk about the Kalpurush Kundali, there Mars becomes not only the Lagna Lord, but also a Lord. This means that even nature has not given them a clean ship. So they rule growth, health, happiness, prosperity, as well as downfall, misery, transformation, and sadhana events. When Kal Purush has provided both types of energies to Mars, it means that Lagna Lot also carries both types of energies. Whatever your passion is, it depends on where and with whom your association is being formed. Let's discuss this concept a bit more. Is the Lagna Lord the most beneficial planet for the Kundali? When Mars and Saturn are the Lagna Lord, they are given a clean chit. They won't do anything bad. As I mentioned earlier, in the Kalpurush Kundali, Mars carries all kinds of energy. It governs houses, winds, transformation, and even sexuality. Despite being the Lagna Lord, Mars carries two types of extreme energy. The most important thing is to look at your Lagna Lord's second lordship and its associations. Meaning, where does the second sign of any planet, especially its original trine sign, fall? For Taurus, Venus is in the 6th house. For Scorpio, Mars is in Aries. This means the planet's qualities. For Scorpio rising, the original trine sign of Mars is placed in Aries. So this means the good qualities of that planet. A planet in a bad house shows negative traits. Venus in the 6th house affects it more than Lagna. After that, if in Taurus rising, Venus linked to the 6th house, then it will show its impact more on the 6th house. So again, they will show their performance more in the matters of the 6th house rather than in the Lagna. Whenever you look at your rising sign, you should check where the second sign of that planet falls, excluding the sun and moon. You need to see if it falls in the 6th, 8th, or 12th houses. These are their original trine signs. You need to check if they fall in these houses. Is it in the 6th, 8th, or 12th houses? Trini signs and planets don't align with these houses. Planets don't associate with houses, focus on negatives. Lagna Lord performance isn't good, causes losses, expectations versus. Now, despite being the Lagna Lord, their performance won't always be good, and wherever they sit or look, they can also cause losses. Second thing, expectations versus helplessness. We have a lot of expectations from a person that he should do good for us, and he also wants to do good. But I can only do as much good as I have the strength for. Our parents want to provide us with the best of the best resources. Depending on their capabilities, if it goes beyond their capacity and capability, then they can't do it even if they want to. For example, if Mercury is placed in the 7th house for Gemini rising, here Mercury is in the 0 degrees, and this is also a death-inducing position for Mercury. Lagna Lord afflicted, lifelong 7th house troubles. The Lagna Lord's move to the 7th house causes troubles without ensuring benefit. In fact, throughout your life, you may face troubles because of the matters of the 7th house. Now, we can't say that just because the Lagna Lord has gone into the 7th house, it will protect the 7th house and bring something good from there. In fact, throughout your life, you may be troubled because of the matters of the seventh house. So, we are expecting something from Mercury. Due to its helplessness, the Lagna Lord is so constrained that it can't do anything, even if it wants to. It is a reason for sorrow. Similarly, if Saturn is placed in the third house for Aquarius rising, it is in a debilitated position and it gives its third aspect to the fifth house. Now, their second sign falls in the 12th house. The third aspect that is falling in the fifth house, we won't consider it very welcoming. First of all, their debilitation. The second reason is their second lordship, due to being in the 12th house and their natural signification. When the fifth house of Delhi and trouble is impacted, it will create problems in education and relationships with children. So always see that whenever a planet is aspecting, it is the Lagna Lord, no matter what. What is their situation when they are expecting? It is always believed that the Lagna Lord complements the chart in growth and contributes to it throughout the entire company. Mars in the 8th house with Venus may cause struggles with personal matters. For Scorpio, if Mars is in the 8th house with Venus, you might struggle with hobbies and finances. Personal happiness in the 12th house hurts your chart. So it is very much possible that you are fighting for your hobby, for your addiction, for your money, and your savings, and with your family. Because you have gone to the houses with the 12th, which is giving you happiness, and you are consuming, only thinking about yourself and your own happiness, which is negatively affecting your chart. So, the Lagna Lord should be placed in a good condition and in good yogas. This means that the Lagna Lord will benefit from where it is looking. So, Lagna Lord should be placed in good condition and good yoga. The Lagna Lord may seem beneficial, but can cause losses. Mars or Saturn as Lagna Lord often focuses. They cause losses in those houses. They think it is growth, but it actually leads to downfall. They believe it makes them happy, and thus they are harming other life sectors. Also, when planets like Mars or Saturn are Lagna Lord and respect or placed in a house, they lean towards material growth. They may damage the house's living force. Then we also have to remember that when planets like Mars or Saturn form the Lagna Lord, and they respect a house, or have a play placement, then their intention is more towards materialistic growth. Yet they cause some harm to Jiva, the living force of the house. If natural malefic planets become your Lagna Lord, it's better, as they're hard to spoil. They focus on themselves without guilt, and, when strong, they provide growth. Thus, having them as your Lagna Lord is beneficial. Then they think more about themselves and don't feel guilty about being the center of attention. And when these malefic planets become strong, they actually provide growth in the chart. Having natural, malefic planets as your Lagna Lord is beneficial, the Lagna Lord. These days, they should be strong and involved in good yogas. Look at this chart. Here, the Lagna Lord is in the 11th house with two enemy planets in an enemy sign, which are not functionally good planets for them. The 11th Lord is the 12th Lord. Whenever the Lagna Lord goes into the 11th house, it gives you high desires. However, if your associations in that house are not good, those desires can cause you trouble. Now, if I say that the Lagna Lord has gone into the 11th house, it will maintain the significations of the 11th house while looking at the 5th house. They will maintain a connection with the 5th house and help in the growth of children and their learning, but nothing significant has happened in their life. In fact, there have been many losses in business. Many times, there has been a loss of money. Whenever they have started a business or made any investments, they have only seen losses from those ventures. Look at this chart. Here, the Lagna Lord, Saturn, is in the 10th house with natural and functional benefic planets, along with its friend, Venus. Both of their dignities are very good. Saturn energizes and stabilizes, so wherever it looks and sits, it will create growth in work. It's looking at the 12th house, the 4th house, and the 7th house. They will try to keep it intact there. There are many problems in marriage, but how to keep the marriage intact, it has been ensured when they are looking at the 4th house. They are supporting material prospects more. They are destroying the life force and internal happiness because they are not in the nature of Saturn. In corporatizing, Mars is placed in the 6th part of its original trine sign. Mars is in the Lagna Lord, acting like the 6th Lord. How did Mars function? They are functioning more like the 6th Lord because they are not from the Lagna, and the original trine sign is placed in the 6th house. Now, how did Mars function when its time period came? Due to the divorce, they suffered a significant monetary loss. The family was upset, and their father came as a support planet. When you have friends, they try to protect you with their natural and functional significations. So the father was the one who helped decrease the monetary loss, but the chances of problems increased significantly due to Mars. Now, Mars going into the 8th house, looking at the 11th and the 2nd house, hasn't yielded much fruit. Despite missing, Mars is the Lagna Lord, and wherever it sits, it will do well. It didn't go well. Look at this chart. It seems quite obvious. The Lagna Lord is in the 7th house with 2 cruel planets, and there's a lot of confusion in the Lagna as well. There is a delay in the change between the Lagna Lord and the 7th Lord, and there is also a goat from above. The association being formed by your Lagna Lord is not very good. In between, there is Rahu, which spoils communication, creates trust issues, and instills some kind of delusion. And the moon is also the 12th Lord. So, when the Lagna Lord is in the 7th house or flipped, there are multiple planets in your exchange that are affecting the situation. When you sell yourself, your nature changes, becomes the reason to spoil your marriage, and you don't even want to see each other's faces. Next time you see chart, you can't just say that the Lagna Lord will protect you. How much life is in the Lagna Lord, how it is placed in yoga, which house it is placed in, and what it wants to provide. You will see that the Lagna will not protect you if the Lagna is not strong itself. If a negative yoga is bold or afflicted in any house, then that house will become the reason for your suffering. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Thank you so much.